But yeah.
As on purpose.
Yeah, let's talk about the movie we saw today.
All right. So me and Mike went this morning to go see Longshot.
Yeah.
We talked about it a few weeks ago. We watched the trailer. And it's Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
And directed by Jonathan Levine. Mm-hmm. Produced by both Charlize and Seth.
Yeah, both of them have production companies, and both of those companies were
working together on this. But also has a really good cast too.
Yeah, it does. Man.
Really great cast. O'Shea Jackson Jr. is fucking hilarious in this.
He's just
movie.
Playing his dad.
He's so
just
good.
Playing his dad. Everything he's in, they're like, hey, just be Ice Cube. Like, that sounds reductive, but everything he literally played Ice Cube in a movie. He literally played his dad. And then everything he's been in since, it's not a bad thing. He's kind of the comic relief. He's got more range than that for sure. But he's kind of the comic relief. And that's basically what his dad has been doing for the last 20 years is the comic relief. And he's literally, like, the character that Ice Cube plays in 21 Jump Street is basically what he's doing in this. Except not as aggressive. Like a fun, like a lighter side of that. He's very loud, over the top, says shit that doesn't make any fucking sense, but he's really fucking good in it.
Yeah,
he's really good in it. But yeah, the rest of the cast also is very good, man.
Yeah, Bob Odenkirk is in it. He plays the president. And Andy Serkis is in it. And I had no idea.
Yeah,
and I guess they just put him in makeup as well too, just like in
everything else.
He does. But yeah, he plays, I guess, the Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah, he basically
News.
plays Rupert Murdoch. It's hilarious. And Alexander Skarsgård.
That's right. He plays the Canadian Prime Minister.
Right, and like he's a good looking dude. Like Alexander Skarsgård is a fucking gorgeous man, but they somehow
I don't know how they did.
I don't want to say ugly him up because they don't ugly him up, but they definitely
de-pretty him.
Yeah, they de-pretty him. And like to the point where Rick was like, "Is that?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, that's totally Vampire Eric, dude. That's him."
He looked a lot thinner in this.
Yeah, he did.
Much thinner.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it is funny to see him still playing a very charismatic, and he's played off as like the good-looking dude that she should be with, and he does it really well. But he also is kind of skeezy in it, and it's really...
Yeah, he really is.
It's very interesting to see him play a role like that and to buy him as skeezy. Because like I said, he's a really good-looking dude, and it's hard to see somebody like that in that way, like being, oh, this dude's just being fucking predatory. But he definitely has some scenes in this movie where he comes off that way, and comes off that way really well and effectively.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you see... Big Little Lies?
No, I haven't.
Because he was in that, and he kind of plays a similar skeezy, manipulative, like, husband. Really good in that as well.
I'll have to check that out.
But he's still pretty in that one.
Oh, well. So all's forgiven. But yeah, he's really good in it. And he's not a huge character in the movie at all. But when he's in it, like, he definitely, I won't say steals the scene because O'Shea Jackson Jr. steals every scene that he's in.
So good. But
yeah, Alexander Skarsgård definitely does some really, really cool character shit in this movie.
Yeah, what I really like about this, well, obviously it's obvious we enjoyed the movie a lot.
Yeah.
And but what I really like about it is that, like you were mentioning, like Seth Rogen just has this way of making movies that like take your typical like rom-com movie and then just throw Seth Rogen in it, which they did because it's his movie, and just like perverted the shit out of the movie, which is this is the kind of rom-com I kind of like.
Yeah, I like pride myself with like wearing my heart on my sleeve. Like I like a lot of stuff that would be like I love romantic comedies. It's one of my favorite genres of movie, and you're not gonna hear a lot of men say that because it's very unpopular to be not manly, right?
I do too.
Yeah, and Rick does too. And
serendipity shit.
It's one of those things where like
love that.
Seth, it's so weird. Like Seth Rogen makes romantic comedies for dudes. Like he makes dude romantic comedies,
Yes.
and like
That's a good way to put it.
and I always said like between him and Judd Apatow, and I know they have a relationship where they've cross-pollinated movies and shit like that. They make great movies about, and they're generally about relationships between men. And I always call those bromantic comedies, and they do a great job of taking that relationship and not having it always be about like, you know, manly things. You know, there's always heart to Seth Rogen movies, and I said that to you guys earlier. Like I always forget how much heart movies have, just by not even whether he writes them or not, just him being in them as an actor. He brings something to the table that is super hard to bring to the table, and it's everything he does is super approachable and super relatable, and it's really hard to find that and see that a lot. And he does that again in this movie, where it's, I don't know, he's like, I hate to say that he's just playing characters that Seth Rogen plays in movies, but like again, he's found this niche and he fills that gap, and he fills it really well. And yeah, I fucking love this movie, man. It was really, really good.
Yeah, the movie's great. It does have those moments though where it does feel rom-com-y. Like you feels like you're like, I feel like the beginning was definitely kind of slow in my opinion, and felt like the beginning of your typical Hollywood rom-com.
We got to introduce this character, and then we got to introduce this character.
See how different he is. See how different she is.
And then we got to tell you how they cross paths. And then once they get to that part,
once they get to that part, everything takes off from there.
It takes off from there because their paths cross in a very Seth Rogen way.
Yeah. Yeah, in a Seth Rogen way, exactly. I absolutely love this movie. I would see it again.
Oh, for sure.
Easily.
Yeah. I'm gonna have me and my wife are probably gonna go see this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she'll love it.
And you said you're gonna see it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it.
Yeah.
But since I didn't and you guys did, I read a whole bunch of reviews, so I'm gonna throw a couple things that people were complaining.
All right. Yeah, this is
great.
Cool. Get your opinion on it. So one of the biggest complaints is people are complaining about the length of it. Like, did it feel long or did it?
No.
Really?
No. Not at all.
Okay.
Like, again, the beginning is slower because they're introducing two separate characters.
Okay.
But they get, like, normally when you do things like that, it's like 20 minutes before they interact in a movie like that where you're introducing separate characters and they all have to come together. They kind of get you there quickly. Yeah,
they do a good job at just kind of getting you to the point. Like, I think they meet within like 15 minutes of the movie.
Easily.
Maybe even like 12 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. I had no issue with the length.
Okay.
Yeah.
But those 12 minutes, I felt like it dragged.
Really? Even when you got to
No, I said
Ice
once
Cube
they got
Jr.? No, but even when you get to Ice Cube Jr., that's like 5 minutes into the movie.
I thought that was a little like, I mean, that was funny.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
It didn't
I feel like
pace-wise, it didn't pick up for you yet?
It didn't pick up for me until they actually crossed.
Okay. Fair.
But yeah, I don't think the time, like I didn't even keep track.
Yeah.
As far as how long, I thought it flowed very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The another thing people were complaining about is with Seth Rogen, his acting, not doing anything new. Like, it's everything he did in the movie is exactly what you've seen before.
Okay, I understand that, but that's a shitty criticism. Especially when
well, it's not you.
Yeah, it's not you.
Not me.
Yeah, no, I know.
What, like I just got done saying, like, nobody else brings to the table what he brings. So why would you deviate from something that works so completely well?
Mm-hmm.
I felt the same way about 50-50. He's great in 50-50, and he's a little bit more subdued. He's not as Seth Rogen-y in that movie, and he's very good and very. You buy everything he does, and I think his relatableness or the way people can relate to him, I think, is a detriment in some cases because they feel like they've seen it before. And yeah, you kind of have, but at the same time, like, the dude pulls everything off so well.
I think it did a real, like, I mean, this guy has range. He's an actor.
Mhm.
You know, I loved his version of Woz in
The Jobs movie?
the Jobs movie, not the Ashton Kutcher one.
No, the other one.
Yeah,
Fassbender?
the Fassbender one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like knowing that he can do that, you know, something serious like that, and obviously him being a comedy actor, we know he can do comedy. So like I don't know, because there were like even romantic moments in there where you bought it.
100%.
100% bought it, and like that is kind of a harsh.
Yeah, I think it's,
but you know what you're getting into.
it's overly harsh because there's definitely range in here. There's some stuff in here towards the end that could have easily been played for a laugh, but it comes off as super genuine.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it's really genuine as far as it goes through. But I mean, I can understand. I mean,
Yeah,
why people would think that.
it's overly harsh, but I can see where people would be coming from. But at the same time, like I said, there's a phone call scene at the end where he calls and leaves a message, and
That was good.
and that could easily the way his delivery is and the stuff he says in that message could easily be played for a laugh, easily. But
And it wasn't. It wasn't
and
that
it
meant
wasn't.
that way.
No,
Yeah.
it was. You felt like I said. You felt
It was
the
a
heart.
romantic comedy moment
Yeah.
where he left a message on her answering machine.
Yeah.
Or what's
Her
it?
phone, yeah.
Fax machine.
Yeah, old ass.
But yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's unfair. It's unwarranted. I think it's
Oh, I
unwarranted.
thought it was
for sure.
weird when
yeah.
I kept reading it over and over again, but
Uh,
because I like Seth Rogen, why change?
Yeah, exactly. The other thing, like I get how like self-deprecating he can be, and he is.
yeah.
But like I think we need to not lose sight of the fact that like Seth Rogen is not an ugly dude. Like,
Oh, I don't think
Dude, that scene when he's walking on the beach
yeah,
after
yeah.
what happened?
Yeah,
I was like, damn.
He's not an ugly guy, and I understand it's fun to play the nerdy guy with the glasses and the Jufro as like the not like, oh, that's not the dude you want, but like, no man, that's the dude you want. Like, it is, and they make him less attractive than he is in this movie because of the way they dress him. They dress him like an extra on the set of 90210 with fucking like neon jumpsuit jackets and shit. Like,
nice.
and the whole time I'm thinking it's funny because like after the Howard Stern interview that you still need to finish because it's amazing. After that show, they do a show called The Wrap Up Show where they have guys, producers of the show, and they talk about what happened during the week, and they talked about it, and one of the guys finally said it, and it's like everybody makes him out to be like this fucking Gollum. Like, he's not an ugly guy. Seth Rogen's an attractive guy, and his sense of humor makes him even more attractive. And the fact that he can go out there and make movies the way he does, where he doesn't hold anything back, and like you feel like you're seeing the person and not necessarily a character when he's in a movie, and like that confidence even takes it up even higher. And you can be as self-deprecating as you want, but like we see right through that shit, Seth. We see right through it.
Yeah, definitely.
So as unrealistic as it is for someone like Charlize Theron to fall for someone like Seth Rogen, it's really not that unrealistic, man. It's really not.
I mean, just no offense to Christina Hendricks' husband, but I mean, look at him. He was the guy in he was in 500 Days of Summer.
I still haven't seen that.
Joseph Gordon.
Oh wait,
No,
I
he
have
played
seen
the
that. Okay, yes.
One of the best friends. What was his name? I'll pull him up right now. He's basically a kind of. Let me see.
I did end up seeing that movie, by the way. I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
No.
Which one? 500 Days?
Yeah.
You didn't?
No, I like.
That's a nice take on a rom-com.
It is, and I like I appreciate what they were trying to do. Like, fully 100% appreciate it, but the main characters. That guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if he looks familiar to you.
Oh, okay.
The main characters in that movie, for like 85 to 90% of that movie, come off as unlikable to me.
Yeah, well, they kind of are. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
and I get the story, and I understand like where they're going with that, and like the ending Like the stuff at the ending with him where he's just like, you know, fuck it, I'm gonna go for it with this other girl. Forget it. Like that's a great revelation moment that you can't have without the stuff that makes them unlikable early in the movie. But I felt like it was just too much, and I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
No, that makes sense though, knowing that how much you actually do like rom-coms. It's kind of like the anti-rom-com.
Yeah. Where nobody's redeeming until the very, very end. And even then...
it's kind of depressing too.
Yeah, and it's a really honest take on like unrequited love. Like I totally get that there's not a person on this planet that hasn't felt that exact feeling. And the way they portray it on screen is great. But then you also, you know, being older now and you look back and you see that, you're like, oh God, you're 100% like unlikable. That no wonder it didn't happen then. No wonder it didn't work. You're being an asshole. That's my only beef with that movie.
Okay.
I think it's a little too introspective for myself. Yeah. But yeah, this is, you need to see this as soon as possible, James.
How is June Diane in this?
She played Maggie.
Yeah.
She was, I honestly thought throughout the whole thing, I thought that was, what's her name? Rose. I always fuck up her last name. She was in X-Men First Class. She played, Rose.
Byrne?
Byrne.
Oh.
I thought that was Rose Byrne the entire time. I had no idea.
She plays a ball-busting bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what she does.
In a very, in a fun way, in a super fun way.
You guys don't watch Grace and Frankie on
No.
Netflix, do you?
No.
Uh-huh.
She's one of the main characters. She's one of their daughters. She's the best. Being hysterical.
Yeah, she has some funny stuff in
yeah.
here, and then she also has some shit in here where you're like, God damn, like, again, just super unlikable. Super unlikable. And her and Charlize Theron have this really, really awesome moment where...
Oh, yeah.
She's talking about...
Because she's like she plays a character who like knows her stats and like her popularity.
Kind of a
and,
publicist.
Like,
type of
likability.
political publicist. And she has this whole scene where she's like, hey, we did this thing, and like, nobody likes people that look like him. And like, it's essentially what it is, that scene. And Charlize Theron puts her in her fucking place, and it's a really good scene.
Nice.
And she's really good in it, like I said. And then she has some really fucking hysterical moments too in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's. I like this
gives
movie
away a little bit, but yeah.
So the reason why I mentioned this when we were talking about it before we started, like it's getting. I won't say it's getting review bombed by users on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's definitely getting downvoted by users on Rotten Tomatoes. And there's definitely and it's not something that they slap you in the face with at all. It's not ham-fisted at all, but there's definitely a like political overtone message to this whole movie. And
well, what's weird is we briefly talked about it before this, but a lot of the things I was reading was almost the opposite. People didn't like it, that they didn't focus on it, that it was like plot B in the background.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Because that's not the
But
story
usually,
they're telling.
Yeah, that's true.
I assumed,
Right.
but I thought it was weird that because usually it would be reversed. They would be like, "Oh, this is too political. I don't like this shit."
So there's a point in this movie where they kind of like. Have you seen The Village? M. Night Shyamalan
Yeah.
movie?
Oh yeah.
There is a point in this movie where they kind of village the viewer.
Oh.
Where Seth Rogen sees things a very specific way, his character, and they flip it on him. And they're basically in this 3-minute long scene with him and O'Shea Jackson Jr., it's basically saying, you know, whatever side of the fence you're on politically, we're all fucking full of shit and we're all assholes. Like, that's the tone that comes out. And it's one of those things, like, I've been fucking saying that for 3 years now. We're all, like, if you're lean too far one way or the other, you're probably an asshole because you don't see shades of gray. You only see black and white. And they totally fucking do that in this movie where, like, Seth Rogen has a moment where he's like, I'm the asshole? And it's really good. Like, that's not the line in the movie, but that's how it felt. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, people are going to hate it because they're going to be made to feel like they're assholes. And if you feel like you're an asshole because of a page of dialogue in this movie, guess what? You're probably an asshole.
Yeah, it was welcome, Broken Wolf.
Hey, what's up, Wolf?
Yeah, that whole like, that's not the main story, but
No.
but it is a B story.
Yeah, for sure.
and it definitely worked in the favor of the main story.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think it gave it like a good perspective to like well, exactly what everything you just said, to keep your eyes open to see both sides of the story, you know. So it was in there, the preachiness, but it wasn't like in your face like, you know, the other movies, just like you said.
It was done in a very comedic way that you could really appreciate, unless
a relatable way.
Yeah, unless you're one of the assholes that they're talking about. Then you're not gonna like it at all. And as I've learned over the last 4 or so years, there is a lot of those people out there on both sides of the fence that I just can't get down with.
Yes, there are.
Extremism is bad, and no matter what side you're on, extremism is bad. But like, as soon as I saw that, and then when you mentioned that it had a low user rating on Rotten Tomatoes, I immediately projected and assumed that's why. And I could be wrong. And if it is, they'll probably never admit it, but that's what I felt as soon as you told us that.
No, that's probably it too. Because, let's face it, most of us are extreme one way or another. So, so people don't like that when you say, hey, look at the other side.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, look in the mirror for a second, man. Just for a second. And that's essentially what O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s character is telling him. He's like, yo, dude, look in the mirror for a second. Mm-hmm. And then try and see it from the other side. And the way he gets him to do it.
Listen to O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah. Ice Cube Jr. is he's the fucking man. But yeah, I love the movie. I don't want to again. I was very vague on things because I didn't want to necessarily spoil anything for you.
Oh,
I know you read the whole thing, but like, that's another plot point of the movie. Like, he asks her about movies or things that she's like, no, I read like very detailed synopses and summaries of these things. And then he's opening her eyes to these things and she reacts in a different way. And I hope that happens for you when you actually see it. You're like, I read this whole thing, but holy crap, it feels so different actually seeing it play out.
I'll have to let you know.
Yeah.